Because of some interruption, I left till here. So let us see from this line. He asked her if she had not received the letter that he had written to her and say that he was coming home. Yes, they had received a letter, and they had been told by another of the island boys that he was ill. Yes, that was why he was back. Was it not a piece of luck? Salvator asked, the girl, was it not a piece of luck that he came back? Oh, but they had heard that he could never be quite well again. The girl is saying that Salvator would not be able to well and walk like man. The doctor talked a lot of nonsense, but he knew very well that now he was home again he would recover. Salvator, to make the girl understand, is saying that now he's back home, so he'll be okay, he'll be recovered, and he will work. They were silent for a little, and then mother nudged the girl. Nudge the girl means to raise the eyebrows higher, means mother instructed the girl not to say yes. She did not try to soften the blow or the attack. She told him straight out, with a blunt directness of her face, that she could not marry a man who would never be strong enough to work like a man. They had made up their minds, her mother and father and she, and her father would never give consent. It means she has, in a very rigid manner, said that now they all have made up their mind, her mother, father, and she herself, and her father would never give consent of marriage. Oh, this was a kind of blow to Salvator. When Salvator went home, he found that they all knew girl's father had been to tell them that had been tell them what they had decided, but they had lacked the courage to tell him themselves. Who had lacked of courage? Who had lack of courage? Salvator's parents. They did not want their child to be sad by giving this information, but when he goes back home, then he comes to know that his parents were very well knew about it. He wept on his mother's bosom. He was terribly unhappy, but he did not blame the girl. See, his nature, his good nature, he is not blaming the girl, though he is unhappy. A fisherman's life is hard, and it needs strength and endurance. He is saying that a fisherman's life is very hard. It needs strength and endurance. He knew very well that a girl could not afford to marry a man who might not be able to support her. So he has blamed himself that a girl cannot marry a man who cannot earn, who cannot support her. His smile was very sad. His eyes had a look of a dog that has been beaten. But he did not complain, and he never said a hard word of the girl he loved so well. So, this was the part of Salvator as a lover. Now, see what has happened. And then, a few months later, when he had settled down to common round, working in his father's vineyard and fishing, his mother told him that there was a young woman in the village who was willing to marry him. Her name was Asenta. Some people call it Asunta, but it's not correct. It's Asenta is sounding good and correct as well. She's as ugly as the devil, he said. Mother has brought the proposal of marriage, and she's saying that Asenta is willing to marry Salvator. But he says that she's as ugly as a devil. It means girl is not very beautiful. But see how he's going to play the role of a good son and also a husband. She was older than he, 24 or 25, and she had been engaged to a man who, while doing his military service, had been killed in Africa. Actually, Asenta got engaged. It means her engagement was done to a military person, but he was killed in Africa. She had a little money of her own, and if Salvator married her, she could buy him a boat of his own, and they could take the vineyard that by happy chance happened at the moment be without a tenant. It means Asenta had a vineyard as well. So she promised that if he marries, then she can buy a boat for him, and also that little vineyard can be used. And luckily, that vineyard had not any tenant, so it was free to be used. His mother told him that Asenta had seen him at the festa and had fallen in love with him. Salvator smiled his sweet smile and said he would think about it. And on the following Sunday, dressed in the stiff black clothes in which he looked so much less well than in ragged shirt and trousers every day, he went up to high mass at the parish church and placed himself so that he could have a good look at the young woman. When he came down again, he told his mother that he was willing. So, see over here, he went to church on Sunday and saw the girl and came back, told his mother that he is willing to marry the girl. So, in this way, he has played the role of a good son. So, just see the story till here, and I'll continue in the next studio. Thank you.